Hey guys, so this is a demo video tutorial for calculators in Optinjoy. So just like we've touched on polls and quizzes, with calculators you can ask questions, get people to give a reply, and you can give an answer at the end. So a use case, for example, would be a mortgage calculator. For example, how much would you spend, how much will you pay per month for your mortgage? Or maybe, for example, travel. How much would you need to climb Mount Kilimanjaro, for example? So this is an example that I have in here, which is an auto loan calculator. So I'll be using that to create a calculator for you guys. So with calculators, you have, just like with others, you can have your calculator name, number of visits, subscribers. You can also download responses to your calculator, and then you have other options. So editing your calculator, deleting, or grabbing the site code. Now you can always create your calculator from scratch, or you can create from a template. So let's create from scratch. Let's call this calculator test, and it's a popover. Create. Now the editor is also similar to the others that we have. If you go to the Start Page tab, you can enter in your heading. So in this case, heading is Auto Loan Calculator. Yeah, you can enter subheading. Yeah, and then click to continue. So once you're done with the start page, you go to your questions. So this is where you ask questions to your audience. So click add question. So if I go back to my dummy data, I have, for example, total loan amount. So I can put it in here with a question mark. Then I enter in the maximum value. Now the maximum value is, so under your question, you're going to have a set of options. Now, what is the maximum you're going to have in that option? So if your options are, for example, 100, let's say 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, and 10,000 is the highest figure you have, so you enter it in here as your maximum value. So let's say our maximum value here is 100,000. That's the maximum that we expect people to pick in under this question. You click submit, and then just like others as well, you add options. So let's say this is 1,000. So this is the title, and then this is the actual value in figures. So if you say 1,000 loan amount, and then here is 1,000, for example, add. You can do all those as well. So if you say 20,000 loan amount, 20,000, add, and then you can keep adding other options as well to this question. When you're done, you can click for another question. So let's say, for example, next question is the term in months. You can enter it in there, and the maximum is maybe 36 months. That's the highest we're going to have as part of the options. You click to add that, add options. So you can say 6 months. Yeah, 6, add. So value always has to be a figure. You cannot put in any text into, or any alphabets into this field. So say 6, let's say 12 months, 12. All right. So let's say we only have these options, and then you can also go for, let's say, the next one, interest rate. So this is another question. What is the interest rate? Let's say the highest we have is 10%. Submit. Add options. So let's say interest rate of 1%. You enter value in figures. So let's say 1%. Enter value in figures 1. say 2%, value in figures 2. Let's say 5%, value in figures 5. So these are the 3 questions we want to ask as part of our calculator. Now when you're done with questions, you go into results. Now results is a bit tricky, but it's actually quite simple. So if you read what we have here, you can create as many results from your questions using the letter Q. So for example, question 1 is Q1, question 2 is Q2. That's the way we generate our results. So question 1 is Q1, question 3 is Q3. And then you can use arithmetic operators, plus, minus, multiply, divide, to create your own formula. So, and when you're done, you can also type up a result that you want people to see. So they would not see your formula, but they would see a result at the end. So when you add your formula by clicking add result, you then do your result description. And if you read what we have there, we say use double curly braces and letter R to refer to results in the description. For example, we estimate your hire purchase monthly payments to be curly brackets R1 close curly brackets with a deposit of curly brackets R2 close curly brackets. So let me show you an example. So we click add result. So you see that results is R1, that's the first one, entire formula. Now we already have a formula that we use to calculate what the monthly payment for this auto loan would be. So if you put in that formula, so you can generate your own formula whichever way you want. So this is basically saying question 3 divided by 100 multiplied by question 1 in brackets plus question 1 in brackets divided by question 2. So that is the calculation to give us our monthly repayment. So you just think about this, think about what you want to ask people and what kind of answer you want, and what the formula for the different questions will lead to that answer. So when you're done with it, you just click done, and that's your R1. Now you can still add another result if you want, R2. You can do as many as you wish. So when you're done with that, so let's say this is the only result that I have because I just want to say this is your monthly payment. I would then in the result description type your monthly payment would be, all right? Now remember it says curly brackets, so I can do open curly brackets R1, which is our result 1, close curly bracket. So that is my result. And I can increase the size of this, for example, and when I'm done, that's it. So people come in, they would answer each of these questions, and when they're done, this formula would be run by the software to generate monthly payments for the auto loan, and then you have a result description that you're giving to them to say this is your monthly payment. All right, so let's say okay, and then we have the next tab, which is appearance. Just like in other features, you can adjust the color, the border, the button. You can also adjust how you want your question and answers to look, and the options as well, so I can amend that. Then we also give you the ability to add people to your mailing list when you're done, or when they're done answering the question. Now they can skip this, or they can enter their email and then subscribe. Now you can also amend this. Yeah, enter your email here. You can amend the placeholder as well. You can add the placeholder as well, and then the heading, join our mailing list now. All right. You can also amend the behavior. So what happens when someone lands on your site? Should it show immediately? How many seconds delay? what happens when someone subscribes, should it redirect the person to another URL, the display rules as well. If you don't want this to show, for example, on mobile devices, you can just toggle that off. You can also set what pages you want this to display on or not to display on. So if I say don't show on, for example, don't show on my index page, for example. All right, and then you can also put in a tracking pixel. This would be activated whenever someone triggers this form. Now you can also connect any of your integrated apps so that you can easily send your email addresses to those apps, and then just click publish when you're done. You click publish, you then have the code that you can integrate on your site, or you can grab the hosted form link and send people directly there. You can also share to various social media sites directly from here as well. So that is an overview of calculators. Remember, you can download your responses if you want to see what people actually answered. So you want to see people's monthly repayment answers, for example. You can see that here as well. So that's an overview of calculator. Cheers, guys.